In this video, we're going to be going over the pros and cons of the new Moto G Play 2023. We're just going to go ahead and start off with the pros on this device. I've actually been using this device for about 72 to 120 hours, somewhere in between there. I'd say 3 to 5 days. But so far, I have only found 3 pros about this phone, I know, but we have actually found a ton of cons about this, and I'll elaborate in the full review on this, but let's go ahead and start off with the pros. So the first pro about this device is, of course, we have a very clean layout and a clean UI. As you guys know, with Motorola devices, they're pretty much all stock Android, and all of the widgets on here actually look really nice. All of the wallpapers look pretty good as well, and we really have little to no bloatware at all. We have some Motorola notifications, some, an FM radio, some different applications like that. But this is a very stock Android device, so you guys aren't going to find anything that's really loaded on here before you actually go ahead and set up your device. So I like that the UI is clean. Our second pro is going to have to be the device form factor. Now, this is a pretty old design language that we've seen on many other Motorola devices right here. Our camera module set up with our lenses. Of course, we have our fingerprint sensor on the back, which is not the greatest placement in my opinion. And we have a hole punch notch instead of the teardrop one. But in the hands, this phone, I believe, is about 6.5 inches. It actually feels pretty good. So we have like a rounded back right here that peers off. It's not a flat back, so it doesn't really have that newer design. But as far as like the feel of this device, it feels really natural in the hand. It feels really good. And for gaming and everything else, this is going to be a natural fitting phone. And getting into the third and last pro about this, I don't think the screen itself is a pro, but I think that 90 hertz on here is actually pretty decent. Now, I've seen some other people talk about it being sluggish and looking slower than 90 hertz. I think it looks like 60, but I think the refresh rate is 90 hertz. I think it looks really good, to be quite honest, as far as the refresh rate goes. I don't think it's too bad. I think the display itself, I'll talk about that in a second, is bad, but it's nice that we get 90 hertz on a phone that's only $170. So that's a big pro about this device, 90 hertz on a $170 phone. All right, so getting into the dreaded cons of the Moto G Play 2023. Now, there is a lot of them. There's actually more cons than pros, but we're gonna start off with our first con, and that is this uses a 2-year-old processor. So inside of this device, we have the Helio G37. Now, that is a processor that's been used on devices as low as $120. So definitely not the greatest processor, especially since it's an older one as well. I was hoping they would at least use like the Helio P35 or the Dimensity 700. That would be perfect for this device. But of course, they went with a 2-year-old processor, and this phone suffers from that. So that's one of the reasons not to pick up this device, to be quite honest. It's probably my biggest reason to not pick up this device. It's actually pretty slow. Gaming isn't going to be the greatest. You are still going to be able to play games like Call of Duty Mobile, of course, and PUBG, but it's not going to be as good as like the Galaxy A14 or any of those other devices that have higher end processors. So kind of sucks that we have an older processor. The second con right here is this only comes with Android 12, and if you guys have seen an A14 or any other device that has come out this year thus far, they come with Android 13. This device only comes with Android 12, and I noticed on the A14 we get 2 major OS updates. We also get 4 years of security patches, but on the Moto G Play 2023 you only get 1 year of updates. So as far as the operating system goes, you get 1 major OS update to Android 13, when all of those other devices were released at Android 13 and they have a couple major OS updates. So that kind of sucks that we have Android 12 on here. Number 3, there's going to be no 5G on this device, and in 2023 that is a no for sure. You have unlocked devices that are around $200 that have 5G, even less. You have devices that are much less, like the older 2021 Moto G Stylus that has of course a better processor than this. That has 5G in it, and that has NFC as well. So this doesn't have 5G, doesn't have NFC, and it does not have wireless charging. So this is a bare bones phone. Number 4, and this is something that I didn't really notice until I had to start charging, of course, which was a couple days ago. We have 10-watt charging on this device. Now, if you guys don't know, there is a big difference between 10 watts and 15-watt fast charging. 10-watt charging is just extremely slow. It's probably going to take over 2 hours to fully charge the Moto G Play. to be quite honest, so it is a very slow charging phone at 10 watts. Number 5, I would have to say the stuttering and drop frames that you see in certain applications. I noticed going in and out of, video game applications and YouTube, it would sometimes just randomly go outside of the application. It would take me to the home screen and I didn't press any buttons at all. It would like not work, and that's probably one of the things that I really didn't like about this device. After a while, it did start working, but we still had some drop frames and like glitches and things like that, mostly due to the processor inside of this device. Also, only 3 gigabytes of RAM and 32 gigabytes of internal storage. Considering in 2023, most of the applications that we download are over a gigabyte, having 32 gigabytes of internal storage and probably somewhere next to, in the 20s after everything is set up and said and done, not a lot of storage inside this device either. And of course, the last con about this device has to be the display right here. Now, I like the 90 hertz refresh rate. I think that looks nice. I noticed it when I was gaming, actually, when I was playing Asphalt 8, but we don't have a decent screen on here. It's almost like one of those older TFT displays to where you turn the display and it turns really dark. So not a good display. If you are watching a movie head on or a YouTube video head on, it does look good, but the thing that I notice is when I go into gaming and stuff like that and I'm using a game that uses a gyroscope, it definitely suffers a lot and the graphics suffer. So I don't like that it gets dark like that. I don't know why they put that type of display in this phone. There are still going to be people buying this phone, but I think there are many more options that you can buy that are just better around this price tag. The Galaxy A14, obviously one of the phones I've been reviewing, that is one of them. You can pay $30 more and get a much better processor. You get 5G in that device as well. NFC, 15 watt fast charging. The other thing that I did like about this device is it does have actually a pretty big battery. I believe this has a 5,000 milliamp battery, so it is gonna last a while. It's just a pain in the butt to charge. Yeah, guys, those are me pros and cons on the Moto G Play 2023. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. But hopefully you enjoyed this video and hopefully it was useful to you. This has been Safon from TechRight. Peace out, Tech Gang.